just shall we introduce it to everybody here?
We can say that.
And as I said, I will hand over to Federica. She will take your interview.
Hi, Brahma.
Okay.
Thank you very
Hello.
much for doing this with us.
Hi.
Thank you, no problem.
So I was just telling them a bit how recruitment in India is going on with like fresher walk-in days and campus hiring and national assessment centers like Elitmus. And we would like to know from you now, how did you apply for Accenture and how did you experience this whole recruiting process?
Okay. Accenture had come to my campus for recruitment, so I fall into the campus recruitment category. Accenture had come to my college in August 2011, and there were about 200 to 250 people who were eligible for Accenture, and there were 4 rounds basically. One was the written aptitude round, second one was the group discussion, third round was technical interview, and fourth round was the HR interview. So people who cleared all the 4 interviews, of course, got into Accenture, and yeah.
That's how you got hired.
Yeah, 4 rounds. Cleared.
So in one day, actually, at your university.
It was one day, but in some colleges it happens for 2 days. It depends on the people who clear each round. If there are more people in the final round, then maybe they keep the final 2 rounds for the next day or in some other location. It all depends on how many people clear the interview and how many people clear each round. It depends on the head count at the end of the day.
Okay, so you said around 200 students participated. How many of your colleagues were also selected? Do you know more or less?
Somewhere about 35 to 40 people got selected in Accenture. The rest of them unfortunately couldn't clear the technical and the group discussion rounds, so they had to be left out.
Maybe a quick word on the numbers that we had earlier. It is 1 and 5% that we had. That's the number. That's for all the applications that we get. So when Pramod was interviewed there, he already had passed obviously the first stage, so to say. So these people also come in. Obviously 35 from 200 is more than 1%. But yeah.
Have you also attended job fairs, or where have you first heard of Accenture or got in contact with Accenture?
I heard of Accenture pretty long back because I come from a very technical family. So one of my cousins was working in Accenture. He used to work in Accenture. He was there in Accenture for about 4 years. Way back in 2001, 2002. I was 11 back then, so I know about Accenture since I was 10. And I haven't attended any other job fairs or anything because this was my first interview with Accenture, and I was pretty satisfied getting into Accenture. So I didn't attend any other interviews or job fairs, but I do know a few friends of mine who've attended job fairs. It happens at a common place where a lot of people are called in. People who are eligible, they attend. There are about thousands of people come in there because Bangalore, frankly, there are so many engineers pass out every year in Bangalore, and there are thousands of them come in. And again, the same filtering process happens with 4 rounds, and the people who clear all the 4 end up with the appointment order.
Pramod, I also have a question. Hi, this is Andreas. When you said you are from a technical background, what was the field of studies that you had? What
Yeah, I am a computer science engineer, computer science and engineering. It is a course of 4 years, engineering course. I am a computer science engineer, and I have studied computer architecture, computer programming, and everything, compilers.
When did you have your first computer at home?
I was about 8, I guess.
Okay, that's early, so we haven't prepared this obviously, but do you have colleagues who didn't have a computer at home?
There are a few people who bought computers when they got into engineering, but all of my friends.
Engineering, right? I actually asked this question a couple of years back, and I was pretty surprised surprised because we just assume that nowadays everyone has a computer. And I have colleagues, or we have colleagues that got their first computer maybe when they joined university or even later. It seems there are even some guys who haven't seen a computer before they joined Accenture. And that's pretty amazing, and that often explains also some of the issues that they might face later on if they have not grown up with a computer. Obviously, they're learning very fast, but they might know special areas. But then for you it was different, obviously.
Someone out of the room has a question? Yes?
So this whole procedure, it takes a long time. Does the recruitment, is that for any kind of job or just for big international companies, or do Indian students have to do it for any job they want?
Did you understand that question?
I did not get it. Can you repeat it,
Not
please?
everything. So she asked, she said, seems like recruiting processes in India generally are taking quite a long time and are a bit exhausting. And she wants to know, correct me if I'm wrong, if this is normally for big companies, for large companies as Accenture, or in general also for smaller companies?
That's a very good question actually. Normally it happens for big companies like Accenture, and there are other Indian companies like Infosys and TCS. Normally it happens with big companies. For small companies, the entry criteria for smaller companies like startups it's a little tough. I can say the entry criteria itself and the very first round itself is too very tough. So the people who can get through all those rounds are it's a little less. So I don't think getting into smaller companies, the interview process is that exhausting.
And did you apply for some other companies as well, or only for Accenture?
My interview with Accenture was my first interview, so I got in my very first interview, so I did not apply to any other companies.
Okay, so I guess you're lucky, or that's not quite normal.
Yeah, you can say.
Ramon, are you in the meeting room or are you in the bay?
I am in the bay.
Okay, can you just, if it's possible, I mean, is the camera fixed on the computer? Can you just quickly show it, just one round?
I can show you the bay. I can show you the bay.
Yeah, just quickly show the bay.
I can show the bay, but everybody here has gone for lunch. I'm very sorry for that.
Just so they get an impression how the bay looks.
There is Ranjit here. That is not there, sitting and working very hard. And this is one part of the day. I hope you can see. Sorry? Sorry?
They went for lunch or are they not working?
Yeah, they've gone for lunch. They should be here in about.
The time, the local time also.
So the day is completely empty. It's 2:30 here in India, 2:30 p.m. So it's normally lunchtime here. So people have gone for lunch.
2:30 is lunchtime.
Did you have lunch already or are we going?
I have to go.
Okay, just one more question from my
Yes,
side.
there's a question.
There's a question.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just a little bit, I saw a movie last month about the lunchbox. Do you eat in the canteen or do you have your food bring at the station?
I can see you.
We can't see you anymore. Pramod, can you just quickly explain about the we can hear you still, about the lunch boxes, because that's actually very well true. Yeah. Are you also bringing your lunch from home?
I'm from Bangalore, so I get my lunchbox. People who stay outside of their homes, they usually go to the cafeteria. People who don't have time go to the cafeteria. So like Federica said, I'm pretty lucky staying in Bangalore, getting a job in Bangalore, and I get my lunchbox.
From whom?
My mom.
Mom. Okay. And where are you eating that stuff?
I eat it in the cafeteria.
Okay, yeah, that's also common that people bring their lunch boxes. It's actually true, yeah. When you go there, you will see that they carry boxes that we don't have like that over here, and bring it then also to the cafeteria and eat it there. That's totally okay. That's very common. Even some colleagues who come to Switzerland do it. Okay, I think we anyway can't see Pramod anymore. So I think it's okay. We'll have a break. So Pramod will not keep you off from lunch anymore. Enjoy your lunch. What did you bring today?
I don't know. I have to check.
Okay, then.
Looking forward to seeing him in Bangalore later then. When we
Yeah,
visit.
actually, we'll tell Robin that you can also bring Pramod to the meeting.
Sure.
You'll meet the group then in Bangalore. Maybe you can tell them then what was the lunch of that. Thanks a lot. But that's actually also how we do the interaction with the colleagues there, and not always with video calls, but we. Go ahead.
Where's it from?
People just came into my way, but unfortunately you can't see me anymore.
Should I?
Yeah, we can just,
Yeah. Okay, then let me just restart. From.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Thanks, Pramod.
Thank you.
Bye.